Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone who's joined so far. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great day. And thank you very much for joining me. Who've we got in? Pop in a comment to see who we've got in today so far. Here he is. Becoming quite the regular now. Good afternoon, Elfish. How are you? I hope you've had a great week. I have I've made the screen a bit bigger. So I've took some of the obviously put the screen more so it fits better and then less background. So hopefully you get a bit of a better view. I've left some of the background still because it looks kind of nice, but I've got rid of. So good afternoon, John Lucas. How are you doing? Hope you've all had a great week, and hopefully you've got something nice planned for the weekend. So shall we take a look at what's going on? I've got some things on the list today. I wasn't sure quite how much I would have on, given all the excitement we've had so far this week. Oh, here he is, the legend, Smurfy. Another one of the regulars in the live stream. Good afternoon and happy Friday to you, Smurfy. Thanks for joining. But yeah, we've got some good things to look at today. I wasn't sure if we get much market movement on alts, given that Bitcoin's doing nothing, but it seems that some of them are starting to pop now, which is nice. So shall we get going? Let's have a look. So obviously this is the 30-minute chart that's still open. We'll just have a look at Bitcoin in general really quickly first. So we've obviously got the current all-time high. Looking forward to today's charts. Yes, it should be a good one. And we had a bit of a dump down on US Open, taking out some built-up longs, and we've had the bounce straight back up. A nice absorption on this previous candle here. So the question is, will we begin further ascent towards $80,000 for one Bitcoin today? We will see. But it's not looking so bad so far. It's not looking too bad so far. But yeah, should we see what's going on? Let's have a look what we've got today. So I'm going to start on Solana because Solana has just been chugging away. It's had a bit of a drop in the last hour or two. But on the 5-minute chart, Stonksy got into a long yesterday afternoon and is still currently riding it. Let's see what happened in the previous one. So let's see. So obviously this one paid off big time. Then we got the end of the green, shifting to the red. This one closed at a loss, but then flipped straight back into the green and more than made up for the loss, and is a really nice profit from the open on there. So we'll see what happens with Solana, but yeah, pushing up really high now. What was that? 205? Made money on Solana yesterday. Fantastic, Elfish. Well done. That's what we like to hear. But yeah, this 5-minute chart, minus this one minor loss in there, but in between that, you've got a sandwich of two real monster trades on the 5-minute. Yeah, we've got Adder's on my list actually, Smurfy. Yeah, Adder is on the list. So we're going to cover Adder because that has had an immense pump on today, hasn't it? And Stonksy caught it really nicely. So if we have a look at the Solana 10-minute chart, obviously this is what we covered earlier in the week. We've covered that the past few days, the capture on the 10-minute charts. But if you can see, it closed out yesterday. We had a bit of a grind higher, and then it got back in yesterday afternoon, a few hours afterwards, and then got the nice push up today, another 5%, or currently 3%. So that's another nice one on the 10-minute to go with the one earlier in the week on Solana. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a really good one on ADA. And then the 15-minute is still running. So unlike the 10-minute one that closed out, so the 10-minute one closed out and then reopened, the 15-minute one is still open. So we're currently looking at, what we're looking at, a 23% move on the 15-minute and then up towards today's high, 25%. So that is Solana covered, and Solana is looking nice and strong. If we have a look, let's have a quick look at the Sol ETH chart, see how it's doing. If we zoom out to the daily, yeah, it's just in price discovery, in it. Little consolidation here, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Solana get even more of a repricing against ETH and continue it to send towards 0.089, potentially 0.01. Oh, sorry, 0.1, not 0.01. But yeah, so that's a quick look at the Sol ETH chart, looking nice and strong in price discovery mode, and we'll see what happens next. So that's Solana covered. The next one, don't know if anyone even looks at this anymore, unless you've seen the top gainers, but Crow. Does anyone remember this? The Crypto.com exchange token. I remember I held a lot of this when they used to have to hold Crow, didn't you, to get the cards, the Crypto.com cards that would give you cash back then in Crow. So I held a lot of Crow back in 2021, and they were quite cool because they were metal as well. I had one of the red ones, and I don't think I had any others. But did anyone else hold Crow for the Crypto.com metal cards back in 2021? Maybe even into, if you've still got it. Yeah, mine will be somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I haven't used Crypto.com in so long. It will just be in a drawer somewhere. But they were really good cards. I mean, I remember I made quite a decent amount of money on it because you had to lock it up, I think, for, it was about 3 or 6 months, wasn't it? And I locked it up, and then when it comes to the unlock, it was worth about 4 times more. So I just sold it off because you're never going to really make that back, are you, by spending, unless you spend, you're spending a lot of money. But as we can see here, this is on the 1 hour. Stonksy got into the green on Wednesday, and it's just had an absolute monster pump of 50% up to 57. Grow been moving on up. Grow as, I'll add that. I've not heard of that, Smurfy. I'll have a look at that. Unless you mean Crow. But if you mean a different ticket, I'll add that to the list. But yeah, absolute monster move on Crow this week. I'm not too sure. I don't know if Crypto.com has announced something or whether there's been, a partnership. There must be something, I would imagine. But just an absolute monster pump on it. Yeah. And then if we scale down to the 30-minute, you can see it caught it on the 30-minute as well. But yeah, and both of them are still open as well. But yeah, absolute monster move on Crow this week. CRO. Let's see what it did before. So Stonksy even caught, if you look on the 30-minute, if we go back further to the end of October, caught a nice long ear. It went up to here and did even close in profit. Then entered the short on the 30-minute, closed in profit, and then obviously went lower. So that is currently 3 for 3 on the 30-minute for Stonksy on Crow. So with just an absolute powerhouse move as the last one. Fantastic. And it might not be done. But I'm gonna go and have a look. Does anyone know if there was any news around this, or is this just one of them where it just pops randomly? Maybe the exchange is buying it up. I'm not too sure. But yeah, massive move. And it is today's top gainer in the top 100, I believe. 19% today. So we're going to be coming on to ADA next. I believe you mentioned that, didn't you, Smurfy? So if we move on to Ada. So I was looking at this before, measuring the move. So currently now it's pumped even more. So on a 30-minute, from Tuesday getting in. See, all this was Tuesday. If you notice, on a 30-minute, the 1 hour, and a 10-minute, most of them have been indicated on Tuesday, right before the pump started. Obviously on Wednesday when Trump won the election, that kick-started all this. But Stonksy got in beforehand, before the pump started. But as you can see, got in there, and Ada is just carrying on. 34% up so far, and the background is still open, and it doesn't look like it's done yet. Does anyone hold Ada? Who's in the audience? Chat, do you hold Ada, anyone? If you caught this, well done, because that is a monster move. And if we look at the 1 hour as well on Ada, as you can see, it's a similar pattern. So I don't know if you've been joining. I find that Stonksy helps me keep in the trade where beforehand I closed too soon. Yeah, they can be good for that. But if you notice, this has been quite a repeat over this week's reviews when we've been looking at it. Stonksy calling Stonksy calling the red background late last week into the weekend, riding it down, closing out the red, and then flipping green, and then catching the reversal. So just off the top of my head, we've had things like Rune, Arve was one, I think Uniswap. Pretty much all of them have witnessed the same pattern on Stonksy, where it caught the drop late last week, and then has caught the reversal this week, and much more of a reversal. It's gone sky high. So another one. So they're two sort of higher time frame ones, the 30-minute and the 1 hour. But even on the 5-minute, if we scale down to the 5-minute, if you're looking at lower time frames, obviously called it nicely there on Wednesday. So a bit later than the 30-minute and a bit later than the 1 hour, but called it there. Nice pump up, closed the green background there in profit, entered a short, went up, slight loss. But this is where we was talking about yesterday about Stonksy acknowledging when the movement, the momentum's going against it. So it closed there for a loss, reopened green, and then there. So you can imagine, the scenario obviously where Stonksy doesn't acknowledge like potential danger. You'd be potentially in a big drawdown there, but luckily, for anyone who was trading this on the 5-minute, Stonksy had the back, closed the red into the green, and then caught the rest of the move. So on the 5-minute, for the lower time frame traders, we had this, caught that, very minor loss there, and then caught the bulk of the move there. What has everyone been trading this week? Do let me know in the chat. And what are your plans for this weekend? Have you got anything nice going on? Are you going to be trading? Are you going to be trying to get away from the charts for a bit? What are you going to be up to this weekend? I would love to know. I'm going to have a quiet one myself. I went to the Liverpool game last Saturday. Yeah. So a bit of a quieter one this week for me. So that's Ada that we've covered there. So the next one we're going to be going on to BTC and Solana mainly. Yeah, nice. So you've been trading the two that have been moving the most, obviously, for the large caps. ETH has even been going this week. ETH has been really strong this week. It's starting to get some mojo back in it after such a long time. So this is waves. So a few of these are going to be ones that have picked off the top 100 performers today. So the top movers in the top 100. So this is waves. Thursday into the long on the 5-minute, and is currently still riding it on the 5-minute. I've personally never traded waves. I don't know what it is, but it is in the top 100, and it was called nicely by Stonksy. So that's the 5 minutes on waves. Seems a little bit like it's probably got low volume, given all these gaps. This is on KuCoin, this chart. So maybe it's not got the best volume. But if we scale up to the 10-minute, we had a similar sort of thing here, apart from Stonksy initially got into a short here, cut it, and then caught the rest of the move. So more than made up for this little period here. And yeah, flipped onto the 10-minute and caught the bulk of the move. I missed the pumps, so waiting for reds. Yeah, the worst thing you can do on a week like this, Vic, is start chasing. I've just realised you're still on there, aren't you, Smurfy? I still had you on the screen. You comment. Yeah, the worst thing you can do is feel like you have to chase. You know, you don't have to chase, because that's when you'll make mistakes, or you'll enter too late, or get in positions that you should never have been in the first place. So yeah, you've got the right idea. Don't feel like you have to chase the pump and get yourself in a bit of a mess. So on the 1 hour, yeah, it's obviously I think it's a bit of a low volume altcoin, this, because of the gaps that we were seeing on the 5 minute. The 1 hour doesn't look like there's too many gaps, but I can still see some gaps. But we've had a couple of break-even trades on the 1 hour, quite a few short-lived ones, but it did catch a nice one here, riding the trend down, and then another one here, riding the trend down, and then flipped green and caught the one up. So that is waves. If anyone has ever held that or traded that before, personally, I haven't. Lewis Vision, is there a tutorial for beginners from 0 to 10? Yes. So if you go to, obviously you're on the YouTube at the moment, but after the stream, if you actually go onto the channel, we've got a bunch of content there on firstly setting up Stonksy, how to set it up, how to apply it to your chart, and then trading it on Bitcoin. We've got time lapses, we've got all sorts. So obviously I'm doing these live streams every day, but then we have got a bunch more content, regular content starting next week. So yeah, from next week, we'll have 2 to 3 videos a week of pre-made content, just showing how to use Stonksy, other stuff, everything to do with Stonksy. Hey, Fever. Fever is in the house. Hey, how's it go? How goes it? Howdy, howdy. Howdy, howdy, sir. Nice to see you. Crypto bro. Hi. Can you look at SLF, please? I can do that for you. I will add it to the list. SLF. Not crypto, but Tesla is up 6% this afternoon. Stonksy got it on the hour time frame. There we go. Thank you very much for that information, Elfish. This is one of my goals for next week. Well, one of my things I'm going to do is to start obviously looking at other things. Maybe start incorporating maybe one FX trade a day, maybe a stock trade a day, maybe the S&P 500, whatever. So we're looking at more things apart from crypto. I was meant to do that today, but you've just reminded me that I forgot by mentioning Tesla. So I will do that next week. I'll make a note of it for Monday, where we start to look at some other trades. Maybe we look at gold, maybe the pound against the US dollar, things like that. So we're looking at other things apart from crypto as well, because obviously Stonksy does everything. So we can most certainly do that, and I will add it to the list. But yes, so that was waves. If anyone has ever traded waves, I've got no idea what it is, but it's in the top 100, and Stonksy caught the pump and the dump. So fantastic stuff. So next one I'm going to be moving on to. Yes, Billy. I am going to be doing some FX. I've just mentioned then, I don't know if you've only just joined, but I am going to start incorporating some FX daily into it. So starting on Monday, we'll look at, the pound, dollar, euro, dollar, things like that. And we'll look at potentially some gold, silver. We'll look at the S&P 500. We'll look at some stocks. I've made a note of that for Monday. So yeah, on Monday we'll have more than just crypto to show you. But this is Pol, guys. So if anyone doesn't know, this was formerly Matic before they rebranded. So if we have a look at what it's been doing recently, we had a couple of winners, a couple of break-even ones, maybe a couple of losses in there. But to me, caught a nice one there, closed out into the red there, nice move down, caught a nice one there, caught the drop there, caught the drop there. But the main ones we're going to be looking at are these two last ones that we've had. So obviously this one opened and closed pretty much break even. You would have got some profit if you would have trimmed some off there, but late last week into the red, and this is the pattern that we've seen across the board on Stonksy in the market is this dip last week into Monday and then the reversal. And we've seen it on so many altcoins that we've looked at this week. But as you can see, Stonksy's caught them on pretty much all of them that we've looked at so far this week. Closed out the red into the green and has caught, and it's still going. Pol is having a real good pump and it is up 13% on the day today. So let's see what it is doing. Nearly 24%. If we go up to 26% on top of them wicks. But yeah, currently on the 1 hour, Stonksy is riding a 24% gain on Pol. And just let's have a look at what it caught. So late last week, it caught a minus 10% and eventually closed out at 3. So that is Pol on the 1 hour. And I believe we're going to look at a lower time frame on Pol. We're going to look at the 5 minute. So even one for the scalpers. And this is just today. So this opened today at 9 o'clock UTC time. Into the green background on the 5 minute. And it's still riding the pump upwards. So if we have a look. Currently got a 14% move on Pol just today. So that's in the space of 8 hours. I closed too soon. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with taking profits. That's the thing. You know, profits aren't profits until they're realised, are they? So, you know, there's never any shame in taking profits too soon because you don't want to see them profits go to zero. But, you know, as well as anyone, Fever, you know, there's ways to combat that. You can just have a trailing stop. You could just trim some at a time, whatever. But yeah, you should never be mad at taking profits off the table. So yeah, we've had one higher time frame and one lower time frame trade on Pol. And as a day trade, this is probably as good as you're going to get. You know, if 13, 14, potentially up to 15% move on Pol in a matter of 8 hours. That is a day trade. That means you don't have to trade over the weekend if you caught that. So the next one I'm going to be looking at is a bit of a dino coin, DOT, and you do not hear much about this anymore. However, on the 5 minute chart, it has been having some nice signals, or should I say indications, not signals, because nothing in this video is financial advice. Read the disclaimer in the description. But obviously on the 5 minutes, the lower time frame, we had this loss here. Then it went into the green background, caught a nice pump, eventually closed at break even. But again, if you're using this as a scalp, you would imagine that you would have trimmed some off, stops to break even, etc., etc. This one that closed in another minor loss, but then as more and much more made up for that previous loss on here with this move up. That opened yesterday afternoon and it's currently still riding it. If we have a look at where this opened, so it opened there, currently up just shy of 5% on this 5 minute time frame trade, potentially up towards nearly 6. So that's on the 5 minute on DOT. And then if we scale down, so there's a few times, pretty much going to go through most time frames on DOT because it was really interesting when I was looking at it before, just how well Stonksy's performed on it across pretty much everything recently on DOT. So if we have a look, if we go back to the end of October, Thursday, 31st of October, into the red, drop down, close. Short-lived, short-lived, short-lived. Into the red. Drop down here. So a nice drop. If he didn't manually close, you got out, it would have closed at break even. Same for this one. Into the red. Drop down. Nice drop. Eventually closed. Probably just marginally in profit. Break even trade. Another example. Drop. Closed in a loss. But again, if you get this drop on a scalp or whatever, you know, you would imagine at this point down here on this wick, your stop loss would be moved down to your entry. Then we move over to the two bigger ones. Into the green on Tuesday. Again on the 10-minute. The 10-minute has been nothing short of superb this week. Closed out the 10-minute trade on Thursday. So yesterday, if we have a look at what that was. So that was just shy of 7%, up towards over 9. And then today, is it today? Yes, late yesterday, it had this little period of white back into the green, and it's currently still riding the trend on the 10-minute. So if we just have a look at dot on the 10-minute time frame, you've had 1, 2 if you would have followed it, 3 again if you would have trimmed some, 4. But that's shorter than them, so maybe you wouldn't have been able to catch that if you wasn't chart watching. But especially these last two, really catching the trend nicely. So if we then scale up to the 15-minute on dot, we won't have to cover as much, guys, on these time frames because they're pretty much all the same. But as you can see, nice catch there, close break even. But again, you would trim some, you would imagine. Nice drop here late last week. Minor red there. Again, steep drop though as soon as it opened. So that could have been a very quick scalp. And then got into the green there and closed out the green and didn't catch the rest of it. But that's on the 15-minute. So then we're going to look at the 30-minute. And this is just rinse and repeat from the other altcoins. So we'll cover it very quickly. But again, late last week into the red, same pattern that we've seen across the board. Stonksy catching the dips on the 10-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute. Drop down, close the red into the green and catching the reversal. So across the past week, we've had a 7% down towards 10% move to the downside on dot on the 30-minute. And then the reversal is currently sat at just over 13%. And then just to show you the 1 hour, it caught this nice one. That's going even further back. That's towards like mid to end of October. Didn't catch it here. That the 30-minute caught, and I think the 5-minute and the 10-minute caught it as well, didn't it? But got back into the green there and caught all the pump up. And what time frame and leverage is best for profit? Oof. Lewis, I can't answer the profit thing because I can't give any financial advice. So unfortunately, I can't help you in that bit, mate. But time frame, if you're on about using Stonksy, look at the 5-minute, look at the 10-minute, look at the 30-minute, and look at the 1 hour is what I would say. If you're a scalper and you can get in out of trades really quickly, look at the 3-minute as well. But they're the time frames I would tell you to look at. Potentially the 15-minute as well. Pretty much. If you're a scalper, I would look at potentially the 1 minute if you're really quick and you don't get burned on fees. But 3-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, definitely. 30-minute has been superb this week, and so is the 10-minute and the 1 hour. So that is dot covered. The next one we're going to look at is good old Link. Link is another one that's interesting. So the 5-minute, so a lower time frame trade on Link. If we have a look. Now look at this. So this goes back to Wednesday. So Stonksy got into the green background on Wednesday, early doors, rode the pump up, closed out the green, after a nice move into the red, which closed at just over entry, so a minor loss, but then got back in and is currently still riding the green background there. So if we have a look at, oops, that was an accident. So if we have a look at, I will get to your question in a minute, Crypto Bro. It won't be a second. If we have a look at here, so it caught a 10% move at first, then closed out. Then we had a very minor loss of about 1%, which then closed out, and then currently riding another 5%, nearly 6%, potentially up to 7%. So that is the 5-minute chart on Link. And then we're going to have a look at the 10-minute chart, which paints a sort of different picture, but pretty much the same. If anything, it got in, yeah, it got into. So you had this one as well. Sunday, nice profit made there, especially if you close down here. But Tuesday got into the long before the 5 minute and caught much more of the move up. And again, a minor loss sandwiched between two green profits for the background. So that's the 10-minute on Link. Pretty much the same as the 5, apart from the first move gave an extra 5-6% profit than the 5 minute. Apart from that, pretty much the same. So the next one on Link we're going to look at is the 15-minute. So here we go. If we have a look, 2 very short-lived ones, both closed out in a minor loss. But then Stonksy more than made up for it by opening this one on Monday last week. So not Monday this week, last week. Rode the pump up, closed, into the red. And what do we have here? The same pattern that we've seen across the board on most altcoins. Stonksy catching the dip into late last week, early this week. Closed out the red there and is currently still riding it on a 15-minute. So if we have a look at that quarter, 8%, then went and caught 12%, and then went and is currently riding at 24%. So that is just on Link over the past week and a half on the 15-minute. And that's not even accounting for if you was just to decide to manually close. You know, you wouldn't catch the Pico bottom, of course, but even if if you just happen to think, oh, this looks like it might reverse here, or that looks like a liquidation wick, there was more on the table for you potentially. But that is Link on the 15-minute, and I believe we'll just have a quick look at the 1 hour. Because the 1 hour on Link has been very good, even going back to, that's September. So obviously we had this long gear that opened, nice profit there, still closed in profit. Same story here. That closed at break even. That closed at a minor profit. That closed at decent profit. That closed at that was a great trade, that one. That one's break even. That closed decently. This one closed pretty much break even, but you got this nice pump here. That closed at a loss, but then that one caught a nice dip. And then obviously the 1 hour has caught the most recent Link pump. So that is some really nice performance on Link, and that is over the past 2 months on the 1 hour chart. So hopefully, if you was using Stonksy, you've caught something like that, whether it not be on Link, but we have been advertising Stonksy since the early September. So hopefully you caught. And the next one is something I've never heard before CVX, but it is in the top 100 and was on the top gainers. So we're going to look at, if we look at the 1 hour, it wasn't on my list, but we had a nice fall off here, closed pretty much break even. Again, nice pump, few short-lived ones. That closed at a loss, but that caught a nice pump, closed break even, and then caught the big pump. But what we're going to mainly look at on this CVX is the 5 minute, 15 minutes, and 30 minutes. So if we look at this week, so this is going back to Wednesday before, I don't know if there's any other indications before that this week. Yeah. So obviously we had a short drop off there, catching the downside move, still closed in profit. Again, into the green, nice pump up, closed, still in profit. But the main ones we're going to look at are these last few. Again, same story here. Green background, nice pump up, close break even, but hopefully you would trim some, given it's on the 5-minute chart. But if we look at the two last indications on the green background on Stonksy, got into the green background there, closed there. What did we get from that? And that was Thursday and closed this morning. So that was a 1-day trade. That got 4%-ish, potentially up to 5%. And then it's currently got back into another one and did get another 5%-ish, and it's currently at just shy of just over 1. So that's on the 5-minute. Two nice scalps. One was a day trade, one has been a few hour scalp. Howdy. Oh, here he is. Howdy, sir. Howdy, Steve. Howdy. Very nice to see you. Let's have a look at Crypto Bro's message. Hi, I'm trading with $1,000 and I'm using the 1% risk method. How do I manage my trades with regard to the number of trades I can use? Because each time I have extra trade, I've increased the percentage. So are you splitting up your account? From that, I'm guessing you've split up your account, haven't you? So you're not just taking $1,000, then doing a 1% risk, 1% to 3% risk trade on that. You may be taking $300 of it, then doing 1R, 3R on that, and then having several others open at the same time. Is that what you mean, Crypto Bro? I think potentially what I mean. I suppose if you're still doing 1R, 3R, say if you're splitting it up into threes, you may be taking $330, doing 1R, 3R on 3 trades on that. You're still managing your risk well. But how have you increased the percentage? I know in terms of having 3 trades open at the same time, no, actually you wouldn't, would you? Because if you had 3 trades open at the same time, they'd still be 1%. So then the collective loss, even if all 3 of them lost, would still be 1% of your entire account. So what do you mean you've increased the percentage? Having an extra trade? I'm not following. But it looks to me, because even if you were splitting it up, like I said, into 2 trades, say you did 2 trades, $500 margin on each, your risk on 1% would be $5 on each, which if they both lost, you'd lose $10. But if you were doing that on a $1,000 position, then you would still be losing $10. So are you maybe upping the leverage, or where is the extra percentage coming from? Maybe you need to lower the leverage. So if you want to widen your stop loss a bit and you don't want to obviously run the risk of going over the 1%, just cut the leverage down, and then that will allow you then to have a wider stop loss. So I hope I've answered your question in some form there with whatever direction it is. But yeah, hopefully I've been able to answer your question. And hello to everyone who's in the chat as well. We've got 14 in today on this Friday afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you've had a great week, and I hope you've got something nice planned for the weekend. And hopefully you've banked some nice profit this week. If you've been using Stonksy, hopefully you will have, because it has been on absolute fire this week, especially on the 10-minute time frame, the 30-minute, the 1 hour. It has been superb. So that was CVX. So we'll move on to the requested one. So Crypto Bro asked for SLF, didn't he? Let's have a look at SLF, formerly front. So straight away, we're into a winning position there on the 5-minute. If we scale up, let's see what's going on a 10-minute. Whoa! Look at that. There we go. Let's see. Oh, yes. What a performance by Stonksy here. I had a bit of a Gary Neville moment then, didn't I? When he was commentating on that Champions League goal by Torres. This weekend, I will be spending time with you, Dave. Will you? I didn't know that you was coming up to mine, Steve. That's a surprise. Gonna start from your first video and work my way through. Oh, so you're gonna be watching the live streams. That's good to hear. But you can come up to mine anytime, Steve. Anytime you want, you're always welcome. So this is going back to Wednesday, the 30th of October, so just over a week ago. Stonksy got into the red on the 10-minute time frame there. Exited there. Nice drop down. Nice capture there. Got into the green. Minor loss, closed out. But crucially, acknowledged the danger, the potential momentum to the downside. Reopened the red background. Caught the bigger drop. Closed there. Again, same thing as here. Short-lived green. Into the red. Caught two nice spikes down. Eventually closed break even, but hopefully you would make a couple of pennies off that. And then this is the real big move. Into the green there. And just caught the absolute monster wick up of 33%. I mean, even if you missed that wick, as it come down here and it spent a little bit of time around here, didn't it? Probably spent a few hours there. That's anywhere between 18, 19, 20 plus %. And then even if he was away, he still caught 10 by the time it closed. And then this one on the 10-minute has been a loss. But across them ones, you've got 1, 2, 3 fantastic trades on the 10-minute with a couple of minor losses sandwiched in between. So that's the 10-minute on SLF. If we scale up to the 30-minute, let's see what's going on. Again, same story. So if we look at that, this is going back to mid-October now. A short-lived green background that closed just below break even. Then entered the red. That was a bit of a nasty wick, wasn't it? That one there. I've still got this box open as well. So that is, I don't know when I drawn that, but that obviously shown to be good resistance with where that wick failed and where that wick failed. But caught a nice drop down. Hopefully that rogue wick wouldn't have wicked you out anyway, because it got a very nice 12% move to the downside. Then another short-lived green background. Unlike the 10-minute that caught the drop down here, didn't catch it on the 30-minute, but it did catch this one that we saw on the 10-minute, and where the 10-minute closed around here, I think, didn't it? On SLF, yeah, Stonksy closed around there. This one's still open. So if you was in it and it retraced and you was brave enough to keep it open, you got a second attempt at getting the profit there with this push back up to here. And it's gone nowhere near entry. So even if you got in here, you got in a bit late, wherever, you've had two. Well, you got one there and then another attempt there to take profits. So that's SLF. Not sure about the 1 hour. Let's see. So it's caught some nice ones on the 1 hour. Again, we've had a couple of short-lived ones on that have probably got out, break even or minor losses on the 1 hour. However, it did get in there, caught a nice drop down, closed there. Have a look. 7-8%, potentially down to 9. Then again, caught this one like on the 30-minute. Couple of short-lived greens, couple of short-lived reds. Caught this one down like the 10-minute caught, but the 30-minute missed. And then it's caught the reversal and it's still open like the 30-minute is. Good afternoon. Asquith Butler. Good afternoon to you. I hope you've had a nice week. And I hope you've got a nice weekend planned. So that's SLF covered on lower time frames and higher time frames, and some really nice indications caught by Stonksy there. Some big ones. So has anyone else got anything that they want to cover? Has anyone got any requests? Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. So not in a trade at the moment on a 10-minute. Still open on the 30-minute. Nothing on the 5-minute. But it just seems to be ranging, doesn't it? It's literally just ranging from where it's pushed up to. That was a break-even one. That was a nice one, pushing up today. But if we just remove Stonksy for a sec, as you can see, we are, for the most part, just pretty much in a range. Maybe we take that up to all-time high. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, whether, maybe does a bit of a deleveraging, sharp, fast drop down before bouncing, whether it just stays like this for the weekend. After giving everyone so much excitement, it wouldn't surprise me if it just went sideways for the weekend. Or do we just get the ride to $80,000? What does everyone think? Where is Bitcoin going next? Let's have a little discussion. Where do you think Bitcoin's going next? So let's say, you can say up or down if you want, but let's say, do you think it goes to $80,000 first? Or do you think it goes down to $73,000 first? So let's ask in the chat, 80k first or 73k first? What do you think is coming? How long does it take to get Stonksy set up after payments? Well, we can give you access pretty much straight away. Obviously, as soon as we see the order come through, we can set you up on it, and then you get a welcome email which tells you how to set it up and stuff. So there's a guide for setting it up. We've obviously got YouTube videos to set it all up, but in terms of getting it onto your chart, as soon as we give access, you can just go into indicators. So if you go, this is where you'll find it. So when we give access, you go into indicators, you go into invite only, and it's this one, Stonksy. But if you're gonna, I will keep an eye out in case you sign up, Billy, so I can give you access pretty quickly. We go to 77k, then pull back. Where do you think we pull back to, Gustav? Where do you think we're going to pull back to? Do you think it'll be a short-lived pullback, or are you looking for a bit of a deeper one? 79k pump over the weekend and a dump to 65 Sunday night. Wow. You're hoping for some big volatility, aren't you, Asquith? 79k and then 65. We don't want that. Well, maybe you do. But I think we don't want to re-enter this range now. Maybe we come and test it. But this sort of, you would want to see 70k plus hold, I think. Because all this resistance there, obviously that. We had that. Oops. We had that. We had this. Oh, Astral. You should have said. Why did you not say that? You was Astral. I've been saying Asquith, or been trying to say it anyway. Thank you for joining, Astral. It's nice to see you, mate. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you've got a nice weekend planned. Short pullbacks only. Do delicious things. One bigger before New Year. One bigger move up, do you think? So short pullbacks and then a bigger move up into the end of the year. When you look at it like that, it's not even that far away, is it? When we look at it like this and we just put 100k or near 100k on there, it's not even that. It doesn't even look that far away on the chart, does it? A couple more of these type of days and you're pushing into the late 80s, 90s, and then you're only a 10% move then. So it's not that far away at all. It sounds it and it feels it, But when you look at it on a chart like that, that is not far away at all, especially if you get a couple of days like this. Works YouTube channel, can't seem to swap it. Right, okay. I get you. We can, so Do Delicious thinks that we can push to 90 to 100k closing the new year and then correct to 80k. So you're thinking of potentially something like if we get rid of these. So you're thinking something like potentially, maybe this, maybe a push up to the, what did you say? 90, 100. Yeah, maybe like just a grind higher into the new year. And then you're thinking correct to 80k, and then where do you think after that? Elfish thinks 90k plus before the year ends. Well, it would be a nice Christmas for everyone, wouldn't it? If that happened, hopefully alts would run. Be a nice Christmas for everyone all around. But yeah, so we'll see anyway. It will be interesting. But just looking at it like this, personally, I wouldn't want to see Bitcoin go below this. Even if it whipped to like say 70k ish and then closed back above on the daily, I wouldn't consider that a bad thing. But I think as soon as you start going below this horizontal resistance again, we could be in trouble of quite a cascade potentially, which we don't want, do we? But we will see anyway. Who knows? What have we got? So that was everything covered anyway. Has anyone got any charts you want me to pull up quickly on Stonksy before we end the stream? We've been going for 54 minutes. I think we are both for at least 6 months in 2025. Okay, so like to the half of the year, potentially into the old selling may go away. The 1 year halving in April. Yeah, wouldn't be able to pull up Stonksy on deck screen, unfortunately. But we've been going for 54 minutes and there's still 13 people in. So thank you very much to everyone who's joined. I appreciate you and I appreciate you joining. And I appreciate everyone who's had some good conversation in the chat. It's good to get some conversation going and different people's thoughts. Hello to the Max. Hello. Good afternoon to you, and I hope you've had a nice week. But yeah, so let's pull Stonksy back up. Let's have a look on the 3 minute for the scalpers. I always say about the 3 minute for a scalper. If you're a scalper, as long as you're not going to get wrecked and give your profits back to fees, the 3 minute, even that closed in profit. That one was nice. That's nice. That one was good. That was a very short-lived one, but still closed in profit. That closed in profit. A few short-lived break-even ones. That did. And that did. So yeah, the 3 minutes one for the scalpers, but obviously you just have to make sure that the exchange fees are not gonna take all your profit to make it not even worthwhile doing it. But it's definitely a good opportunity there on a 3 minute, I think, for anyone who can make it work. So let's have a look. Is Bitcoin going to close the green background after this 30 minute? We will stay on for this candle. So if anyone has got anything that they want to ask, if you've got anything you want to say, if you want me to have a look at a ticker quickly before we finish the stream, just let me know. But we will stay on for this candle to see if the green background is going to close or if it's going to stay. So this one will close, and then we'll see if the next one. Oh, you have to wait for the candle to close anyway, so we obviously won't be on for another half an hour. But it will be interesting to see if it maybe starts flickering white, or if it's just going to stay green. But you always want to wait for the candle to close anyway before any colour change is solidified. Brett. I can look at Brett. Ada, we've covered Ada Do Delicious. If you go back towards the start of the stream, then yeah, we covered Ada. We covered Ada on the 5 minute, 30 minute, and 1 hour time frames. So you will find it towards the start of the stream. So we've had a request from the Max for Brett. So let's have a look. Oops. Let's see. Similar story, isn't it? Similar story to what we've seen. Oh wow, yeah. Some nice trades on the 1 hour on Brett anyway. Really nice catch mid-October there on the 1 hour. Riding. Oh, the full move down. Let's see. That wick was 21%, but obviously you're likely not going to get that. But maybe you close down here for 17. If you didn't, no worries. You can still close at 12. This 1 hour one opened here. Nice pump up at first, closed for a loss. Wasn't that big of a loss anyway. It was only, what was it before it closed? 4%. But as soon as it goes up here, hopefully you would move your stop loss up anyway. And then we had this pattern that we've seen over and over. Stonksy into the red background there. Trend down. Close. Flips. Green. And rides the reversal back up. So that's on Brett on the 1 hour. Let's just have a quick look to see if it caught any lower time frame moves this week. So 30 minute. 30 minute. It caught. That one was good. That long was good. That short was very good. So that was similar to the 1 hour one. But it didn't catch the move back up on the 30 minute. But still, 3 for 3 there. And 3 decent sized moves. Let's have a look at the 10 minute. Did we get anything on the 10 minute? No. Pretty much minor loss or break even trades on the 10 minute. 5 minute. Same thing. So there's nothing on the too low time frame on Brett. Oh, the 15 minute. Caught the pump back up on the 15 minute as well. Caught the drop there. Close break even-ish. Minor loss. But really, it's about a 30 minute and a 1 hour on Brett recently. Yeah, 30 minutes superb and 1 hour really nice. Even going further back there, that was nice towards the start to the mid of October. That was that was still in profit when it closed. That was in profit. That was in profit. That closed in profit. So yeah, some nice moves on the 1 hour on Brett for sure. So has anyone got anything that they wish to cover? Bitcoin's still green on the 1 hour too. And yeah, it's still staying green for the meantime. Yeah, still in the green background. So if anyone's got any last minute questions, fire them in. I will answer them before I go, but we've been on for an hour now, so that's a nice long stream to end the week, to get it done on a Friday. And like I mentioned before, we're doing these every day, Monday to Friday. It's good to get it out there, what Stonksy's saying, get some discussion going, pull some charts up for you guys, and just have overall discussion about the market. And then, yeah, I'll be back on Monday to do the same, and we'll have a look at the weekend price action. We'll cover what's been happening. And just some information for you, everyone who's in at the moment. We are nearly ready to release Stonksy Discord. So soon, hopefully next week, there will be a server for everyone to join and discuss Stonksy together and share indications, share ideas. Bye, Do Delicious. Thank you very much for stopping by. Fever, much love. Have a great weekend, mate. I hope you have a nice one across the pond. But yeah, that's something to look forward to for next week, is hopefully the release of Discord, which will be good to to get everyone together. Can you link how to set up notification? Yeah, Vic, if you just close down this stream and you literally just go on the Stonksy YouTube channel, it's the last video that was posted. So literally just click on the YouTube channel and it's the last video that was posted and it'll be there. But I have tweeted it on the Stonksy X account as well today. So for whatever reason, if you can't load up the YouTube channel, just go on the X account and it's been posted a few times. Save with Crypto. Thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you very much for joining. How long have you been in? Have you been in the whole time and only just decided to perk up? You should have put something in before, or have you only just joined? It's nice to see you though. What a superb guy he is. If any of you don't watch Save with Crypto, just type in Save with Crypto on YouTube, head over to his channel and subscribe to him and start watching his videos. He's put some fantastic content together and he does the pre-made content now for the Stonksy YouTube channel. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to Save with Crypto or you don't watch him, type in his name here, Save with Crypto on YouTube, go and subscribe to him and start watching his videos. Put some really good content out. And if you watch the Stonksy videos, you will have already seen him anyway. Great guy. But yeah, Vic, you'll find how to set up alerts on the YouTube channel. So that will give you all the instruction that you need. If you find that you really can't figure it out, there is also, if you go on the Stonksy website and go to the guide bit, there is, I think it's step 4. There is a written guide on how to do it as well. Okay, send, joining the Stonksy tribe. Thanks for the content. No worries at all. Right, thank you very much. Thank you. Can't speak, I need a drink. Thank you everyone for joining. Another great stream today. And I will catch you all on Monday. Have a nice weekend. And we'll look forward to reviewing the price action that's unfolded and what Stonksy has indicated over the weekend. No worries. Right. Catch you all soon.